By now, you've probably heard my magic wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of this series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today.
One of the things that warmed my heart is because I also go to schools and I have daughters, sons who say that, I'm going to buy one for my mom. Because I honestly don't know if she's ever had an orgasm. And I think she needs to have one. And the fact that they're sharing that with me, I'm just like, oh my God, And or sometimes like two girls or, women will come in and they're looking at this product and one of them will find out that one of them has never owned a vibrator. And they're like, oh my God, then you have to get one now. And then so suddenly she's making her first purchase. Yeah.
I mean, isn't it amazing when you're like, people are like, oh no, they're like, oh my God, either you have the friends who are like, oh my God, you have to get one. Or they're like, the friend who's like, I don't need one.
Right.
Don't you hear that too? And you're like,
yeah, you're like, girl, you are the one who needs one.
Well, exactly. Let me gift you one and then we'll discuss it. Thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. I'm Dr. Emily, and on today's show, I'm joined by co-founder of Crave Ti Chang to talk about designing sex toys and all the benefits of self-love. Plus, I'm answering your sex and relationship questions. Topics include, so what exactly goes into designing a sex toy, especially one as elegant and discreet as the Vesper Necklace? How to get people over the stigmas of masturbation and using pleasure products because, hey, there's no orgasm hierarchy. You're about to be long distance. Is proposing a temporary open relationship really a good idea? And your partner is adamantly against you having toys, even for your own enjoyment. What do you do? All this and more. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, just check out Sex with Emily across the board on all social media or go to our website, sexwithemily.com. All right, guys, hope you enjoy the show. Ti Chang is here. She is the lead designer and co-founder of Crave, sex toy designer. She is badass. Went to school for it, was designing like hairbrushes and bikes. Then she's like, how about female pleasure? That's something I can get my head around. Let's get women to talk about sex. And it's been so fun because to watch it grow and to watch it be around so many other people's necks, especially this Vesper, and then working with you. And you guys, oh wait, let me say this. You've got one, not two experts here in sex toys. Okay, so T, first let's talk about this. The process of like you've probably learned so much since you do go out to women and you ask them questions about like, what toys do you want? Like, what have you learned? Was there anything that surprised you in this research about women's sexual desire around toys?
I think in general, the biggest surprise, one of the questions we asked women was, have you ever faked an orgasm? 99.9999999 of women we asked all said yes. And when we asked them why, number one answer, to get it over with.
Right.
And so we're hearing some really surprising things. I think when it comes to actual products to support this experience. Now, what I'm going to say, I don't think it is rocket science. I think it is just so simple that I don't know why it hasn't been done. I think sometimes things are just like this. So, for example, you don't want it to make you feel embarrassed. So having a discreet aesthetic is really great. Having no cords, the USB charging is discreet charging. That's super great. Having something that's practical, that's washable, you can take into the shower. These are all features that just seem so obvious, but yet was not in a lot of the products.
No,
that are
none
out
of
there.
The product for you were like women. We don't want chargers. We want discreet. We want to be able to wash it. We want it to look great.
Right. And the way we think about products is not, oh, what are the features we want in there? But it's about the experience. Women want an experience that's easy to use. They don't want no hassle. They don't want to feel shame. There's no place for shame or embarrassment when you're using your vibrator. And if there is, there's something wrong with the product, because products can really affect how we perceive if this is okay or not, and how you feel about this whole experience. So for us, it's about making this into a great experience.
Right. And it really is. Like it's delightful too, because I've gifted so many to friends, even like all of them. Yeah. Oh yeah. For years, my friends like, I still have the one you gave me years ago. Now we have the limited edition one, but they're like, wow, like it's exciting. Even if it was just jewelry, people are like, this is so beautiful, like the packaging, the design. And then they're like, oh, wow, it's such a thrill to see people's faces. And that knowing that on all your other products are like that, which is cool for women. But then I want to go back to one thing. I'm talking to Ti Chang. She's the co-founder of Crave, Love Crave on Instagram. So now we have one that's a limited edition. And our listeners have been loving it. We love it here, our fans. And it's picking out the phrases, like we had to decide what people are going to want to wear on their neck. Like they're already wearing a vibrator. Right. Like now we're going to add something to it.
Right. That's hard.
But do you like ours? I come first.
Yes.
Turn me on. And then I've got meditate, masturbate, manifest. Right?
Love.
People are, I don't know I know they've been selling a lot, but I don't know which. I'd love to know which phrases.
I think they're pretty
offline.
Close. I can check on, but I think they're all pretty close to each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious. But that's been a blast. What is the most so in the Airstream, so she's T, which when I was 25, I went backpacking by myself through Southeast Asia for like a year with a backpack on me because I was trying to find myself, and I was just like you. So you took an Airstream. Yeah, it was like my Eat, Pray, Love. But you took an Airstream that was, people could build vibrators across the country, which is just amazing. And so when women come together, I can imagine, because I just see them at parties or when I'm out or calling to the show, but they came in and they were like, wow, I want to.
Yeah.
What did they tell you about their sexuality? What did you find out?
So, honestly, anything goes. I mean, we've had events where we were so swamped, literally it was myself and I had to get someone to help me. And then two women just somehow managed to get through the crowd, just threw me a credit card. It was like, just give me whatever you have. And I was just like, oh my God, can you be more specific? Or we've had couples that came in and they were really skeptical. They look kind of like they're probably in their 50s and they look super conservative and they're really quiet when they came into the Airstream. And then suddenly she was like, so these are vibrators? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, okay, well, I think I'll take one of these, but I want to get something for him. He likes it in the back. Do you have something for the butt? Right. And I was like, oh, we don't, but however, we do have this bullet that is, your standard bullet that goes into, all sorts of plugs. So yeah, you can use that for, any, anal safe product. And she goes, oh, well, do you sell those? I'm like, no, we don't sell those, but you can find them on Amazon, And she goes, my eyes are bad. Can you help me find it on Amazon? So I'm here in the Airstream on her Amazon, helping her to put this in her cart. Yeah. And so...
yeah, because everyone needs this information. Right? I find that I'm doing that at Safeway. I'm like, okay, you need a toy or you need a lip. Yeah, we get it. People want to know when they can find it out, but you're in your Airstream. Yeah, I'm just ordering them butt plugs. You changed their life, girl.
And I was just like, do you know what size he is? Because I don't know what size he is. But yeah, so you guys should have a conversation about that. So
people need to talk about it.
Yeah. And then also one of the things that warmed my heart is, because I also go to schools and I have sons who say that, I'm going to buy one for my mom. Because I honestly don't know if she's ever had an orgasm. And I think she needs to have one. And the fact that they're sharing that with me, I'm just like, oh my God, And or sometimes two girls or, women will come in and they're looking at this product and one of them will find out that one of them has never owned a vibrator. And they're like, oh my God, then you have to get one now. And then so suddenly she's making her first purchase. Yeah.
I mean, isn't it amazing when you're people are like, oh no, they're like, oh my God, either you have the friends who are like, oh my God, you have to get one. Or they're like, the friend who's like, I don't need one.
Right.
Don't you hear that too? And you're like,
yeah, you're like, girl, you are the one who needs one.
Exactly. Let me gift you one and then we'll discuss it. But Ti Chang from Crave, I got to ask you this question. Are you dating right now or single?
I'm dating right now.
You're dating. Okay.
I mean, no, I'm with someone.
You're with someone.
Yes,
okay.
I am.
But how has it been working in this industry for 10 years, being a woman who talks about sex for a living or who's in this industry?
Yeah, I think that experience largely depends on who you're with. So, for example, if I'm going to be like, I live in San Francisco, if I'm going to be in at a bar, a bunch of tech bros, like that's not going to go well. And oftentimes if I'm in that situation, then I just don't even bother saying what I do just because I just don't need it because it's like, oh, you do sex toy, you make dildos. It's like,
Exactly.
Or then if I'm with a group of empowered women, because there are a lot of these kick-ass women in San Francisco, then of course I tell them, and so if there's been times when it's been condescending because I've had a man tell me like, how did you end up designing sex toys? Right. As if like I had no other choice.
Exactly.
I'm like, well, I started the fucking company.
Exactly.
So it's I think there are people have baggage with it,
they do.
And they project that. But then for me, I think to be in this industry, just like yourself. I mean, you just own it, and you just have to have a thick skin.
Right. That's how I feel too. We're like, oh, are guys intimidated or is it hard? I'm like, it's not hard because I'm actually weeding out people who can't handle it. Like
exactly, it's
you're
almost
not
like a filter.
my guy. It's a filter.
Yeah, it's a filter.
If it's a problem, we're not gonna meet. It won't be a thing.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, I remember when I was like swiping. Thank God I'm not doing that anymore. I've had someone after, we matched, I don't even remember what app it was. And then he asked me what I did. And I told him because I thought he was, of course, just like it's like a filter. And he immediately unmatched me. I was like, hey, good to know. I didn't have to get dressed up and like waste 2 hours of my time.
Didn't have to do my makeup.
Exactly. So,
God, I love that we're both all about pleasure. Tell me about your pleasure manifesto.
So we just launched this pleasure manifesto. So here's the thing is that, a few days ago, Mashable came out with an article that says this is the golden age of sex toys. And we cannot help but agree. And part of this is that it is like a new revolution that's kind of happening, a sexual revolution, if you will.
Yes, it is.
And with any revolution, you need a manifesto. So we create this manifesto for everyone. And it's basically reminding people to own their pleasure. And it has, just sayings in there that are short and pithy, that basically tells people that, look, this is your pleasure. This is, own it.
It's like something they could get, or it's a box.
So it's basically a short video that you can listen to. And to me, I like it to think of it as my pleasure coach.
Okay.
Like whenever you think like you're not worthy of pleasure or like you're just like not thinking about your own pleasure, listen to this manifesto. Okay. It's like this pleasure coach that will just tell you like, girl, get it. Own it.
That's it. I just need that in my head to remind me even.
It's just an encouragement.
Even myself. Where do we find it?
Just go to lovecrave.com.
Lovecrave.com. And you can check out my Vesper also, because people are like, what are you talking about? Sexwithemily.com/Vesper, VESPR, or lovecrave.com to see their whole thing, all their things.
Go to our Instagram at Lovecrave, and you'll see it on our IGTV.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. T.
Because, one of the things that we do is that in addition to products, is that we believe in letting people know what we believe in. And so that's why we created the pleasure, the Airstream to drive around the country. We engage with people because sometimes just having products, it's not enough. You have to engage with them. They have to actually see it.
They have to see it that's what I think. I'm like, look at my videos then, because I feel like people do buy stuff when I talk about, but you got to look at it. Go into a store, but they often can't. So that's good. You're traveling around the country.
Exactly. So
and we're all wearing it if you run into us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cross swords with us.
We will cross swords. Let's cross swords and take a picture at the break, and then we're going to post it on the Instagram. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here, T. I have to ask you 5 questions I ask all of my guests.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
What's your biggest turn on?
Oh. Biggest turn on. A smart mind.
Biggest turn off?
Close-mindedness.
What makes good sex?
Communication.
Something you tell your younger self about sex?
It'll get better.
That's the best thing ever. I hear you. Number 1 sex tip.
Make sure you trust them.
Yeah. All right. I love trust is huge. It's been a big theme for me today, actually. Thanks for bringing that up. Ti Chang, you're awesome. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for gracing us with these beautiful necklaces, but also all the work that you're doing at Love Crave. And thank you for coming in. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into your questions. It's time for emails. I love answering your questions. It's why I exist on the planet. So if you want a question answered, go to my website, sexwithemily.com, click the Ask Emily tab, fill out the short form, or email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com. All you got to do is include your name, your age, where you live, and how you listen to the show. And it's totally cool if you change your name. Thanks. All right, Jamie, you want to read the emails?
Of course.
All right.
Okay, so this first one comes to us from Tyler, 35, in Wisconsin. Dear Dr. Emily, I have low self-esteem as a person. My wife wants me to be more rough and grabby, as well as talk dirty to her more. My feeble attempts haven't been enough, and it's starting to cause issues. What are some things I can do to help my self-esteem and be the person my wife is looking for? Thanks.
All right, Tyler. So here's the thing about self-esteem is that it's work, right? And I don't think that I think we all have self-doubt, negative self-talk, think that we could do better. It's part of the human condition. And so what really works on self-esteem is to really focus on, your own journey. I always love the idea of doing affirmations, writing down qualities that you really like about yourself, having words of affirmation that you say every single day, keeping a journal, going to therapy. Therapy's been a huge factor for me and for many people, just understanding your process, where this negative conditioning comes from, and working on being a person that you can feel great about, And I feel like a lot about self-esteem, like I always say, it's an inside job. And I'm sure no matter how much you succeed and your wife tells you you're fabulous or you get a bonus at work, sometimes we just have that nagging, negative tape. And so I would just say, knowing that that's something you want to work on, going easy on yourself, not being so hard on yourself. And again, for me, what's really been helpful is I have affirmations. I meditate, I read them to myself, I have things that I write, and having your voice, replacing the negative self-tape with positive affirmations really helps, and therapy. Also, going back to your wife. So I think, here's the thing. If your wife wants you to be more rough or talk dirty to her, you are not alone with feeling like, what does she mean? I really want to be that man for her, but I've never talked dirty. I've never been rough in bed. So remember, it's okay to ask her, well, babe, I want to be that great lover to you. Tell me what that looks like. How are you supposed to know, Tyler? So don't let that be another thing that you're beating yourself up for. I would ask her, what does that look like? Maybe you guys could watch some porn together, read some erotica. There's a great new site we love called tryquinn.com, Quinn, and it's essentially audio erotica. So I feel like you need to figure out, together, like what that looks like. And I think once you start to see it, talk about it, listen to it, you'll understand what she means. Also, Tyler, I want you to figure out, what do you want sexually? Now, if you just say, I just want my wife to be happy, I would say go deeper than that. What do you really want? We all have our own needs and desires, and that is a journey as well. So rather than just pleasing your wife, when you guys are going down this journey of getting educated on what fulfilling each other's fantasies look like, I think that's going to be helpful for both of you, and especially for you figuring out who is Tyler as a sexual being along with your wife. So that's what's going to be the recipe for success. Thanks, Tyler.
Okay, this next one comes to us from a Sarah who's 20 in Australia. Hi, Dr. Emily. Soon I'll be going overseas for 6 months and will not physically see my boyfriend during this time. I'm hoping to purchase my first vibrator for the time that I will be away. Is there a small vibrator that is travel-friendly, quiet, and suitable for a first-timer that is on a budget that you would recommend? Additionally, would proposing a temporary open relationship be a terrible idea? If not, how could I go about it? He has mentioned previously that he would be open to me experimenting with women, which I have never done before. However, I'm not sure how he would feel about this while we are apart, and if I were to be with any men. Thanks for any advice.
All right, Sarah, thanks for this question. Let me start with the easy answer. Quiet travel size vibrator. I love the Bullet from Plus One, and you can get those online or at Walmart or Target, and it's only $10, and it's a great vibrator. Another thing is Crave, they're a little bit more higher price points, but Crave makes vibrators that are also quiet and discreet. And why I love them for travel is because they all are USB rechargeable. So you just plug it. I plug mine into my laptop. So that's what those are the quiet vibes I love. And also, if you go to our site and you go to the store, You can search on our store, which is a Good Vibration, powered by Good Vibrations. You can search by discreet vibrators. And so those will come up as well. You'll be able to see which ones to pick. And I know that Australia is a very big market right now, really burgeoning, growing market in the sex toy space. So you can probably find a lot of toys there. Okay, so you're 20 years old and you're going on a major adventure. So good for you for leaving your town and like leaving your boyfriend and going on a journey. And I have to say, I believe that that would be crucial for you to open up the relationship in some capacity while you're gone. Because listen, I know you're in love, maybe it's your first relationship, but traveling and having adventures really means that you'd want to be open to all experiences. And I think that being really tied to your boyfriend when you're gone would take a lot of long distance talking and calls. And while I think that's important, I believe that when you leave a country and you're going on an adventure, to still have this, person that you got to talk to and check in with might be taking away from some of your adventure. Okay. So whether he's the one you're supposed to be with and spend the rest of your life with, you can figure that out when you get back. So I'm a huge fan of keeping things open when you go away. Now you're the one leaving. So having this conversation with your boyfriend and saying, I want to be open to women and men when I go, I doubt that he's going to feel that great about it. But I believe that it's an important conversation to have. It's not that you don't love him, but you want to be open to be able to have experiences when you're away. Now, as far as the rules around that, I think it's tricky. I think that, maybe he'll say, I want to hear everything that you're doing. And if he is with someone else, maybe you're going to want to hear it, but only you guys will know how that feels. Like if you came home from a night and say, hey, babe, I hooked up with someone, that might not feel great. So maybe you guys in this scenario, you say, we're both open, and unless we really want to know, we can ask, but don't feel that you have to report back. So, and again, set your own rules and your own boundaries, but I think that having this conversation before you leave is great. Or if you leave and realize you want to have it, that's fine too. But I think being open rather than cheating is definitely the better way to go. All right. Thank you for your question and have a good time abroad, Sarah.
I know. I wonder if she's going overseas to America.
She's going to be in America. You get a lot of toys here. Let us know if you come to town. We got you.
Okay. This last one comes to us from Elizabeth, who is 34 in Texas. Hi, Dr. Emily. What should I do if I want to try sex toys, but my male partner is adamantly against it? He's worried about me enjoying the toys more than him and that I will replace him. He has banned me from having absolutely any toys, but I honestly think it will spruce up our sex life. I masturbate often because my libido is significantly higher than his. He doesn't like me doing that either, but I do because I enjoy it. Should I respect him and keep away from toys?
Elizabeth, all right. Thanks for this question. Listen, I believe that pleasure is your birthright. It's all of our birthright. We are allowed to masturbate and give ourselves love. And it's a really important part of being a sexually healthy person, whether you're a man or a woman or however you identify. We need to keep our pilot light lit and to keep it going. So I understand that he has a lower libido and feels like he can't keep up. And so for him, a way to keep control is him by saying, oh, I don't want you to do toys or I don't want you to masturbate, which honestly, as a sex doctor, I do not advocate for this. I believe that you need to keep your sexual energy going and you need to masturbate as much as you want to. So again, I think he's against it because it's a threat. So I believe that having a really healthy conversation with him, and again, this has to be an ongoing conversation about your sexual health and how it's really important for you to continue to have, pleasure, not just because he has a low libido, but just because it's important for all women, all men. So I think that, definitely toys are a huge part of it. So many women can only orgasm with toys, which is fine. Remember, there's no hierarchy of orgasms. Like if you have it with your hand or a penis, it's a far superior orgasm. For many women, it doesn't even happen that way. Definitely doesn't happen with a penis for most women, but I believe that there's a threat here. So if you want to stay with your partner, you love your partner, he needs to understand the importance of pleasure and masturbation for being sexually healthy. But what else does he need? If he has a low libido, I believe that's something to look into. Is he depressed? Is he going through a time right now where is he taking medications? What can he do for his own sexual health rather than, yelling from the front lines, you shouldn't be masturbating? What is he doing to keep his part of the commitment even to himself and to you in the relationship. So, and I have to tell you this, there's a lot of men I hear from who are like, I don't want my partner to have toys, or I don't want to police this. And I'm telling you, once partners start to use toys within their sexual relationship, they seem to be way less intimidated by it. Like once he sees it, because maybe you could use a toy together, most couples I find realize, oh, wow, that's really hot. It actually enhances intimacy to bring a toy in the bedroom with your partner. You know, toys can feel great for men too. So I feel like what I'm hearing is he needs a little bit better understanding of women's health and pleasure and how toys kind of factor into the mix. And by you masturbating often, it's better for your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. And so what I recommend is for many couples to sit down and listen to these podcasts together. It's been really helpful for couples. Maybe if he's a reader, you can find some articles that would help him realize that. We've got a ton on our website at sexwithemily.com. But I don't think that you should feel bad and for apologizing for what you desire in the bedroom at all. Okay, thanks for your question, Elizabeth. If you like the show, I would love if you guys gave us a 5-star review on iTunes, even just 5 stars, or write a review. Super helpful for us and for the show. And we bring you 3 podcasts a week, and we want to continue doing that. So thank you for your support of the show and for being you and for emailing in and being vulnerable and asking your questions. Thanks to my awesome team, Ken, Kristen, Elisa, Michelle, Heather, producer Jamie. I love you, girl. And Michael. Was it good for you? Email me feedback@sexwithemily.com.